Nope. Right now, our next topic is going to be the firm capacity plan. Again, this requires no official action on our part. This does have to be submitted to you by tomorrow. And our township engineer, Russ Price, is going to give us a quick overview on that allocation plan as he has presented it. We all have had copies of that delivered to us over the weekend, so there's been some time to review it, so if you have any questions, please proceed. Okay, Russ.
We evaluated 3 alternatives and a number of sub-alternatives for complying with your water supply firm capacity requirement and water allocation. The first alternative we looked at was the upgrade of the North Church Street plant, excuse me, and the upgrade of the Hartford Road water treatment plant. Both back to their original permitted capacity of 2.688 and 2.016. For alternative 1, there were 3 sub-alternatives or options. The first one was option number 1 for the upgrade of the North Church Street plant, which would include treatment processes for the removal of radium gross alpha and manganese using the hydrous manganese oxide pressure filtration that we had previously discussed, and the removal of 1,2,3-trichloropropanene and trichloroethylene, PCP and PCP, using granular activated carbon. The second option would include those same treatment processes, as well as another option called, or a process called advanced oxidation, which would be included for the removal of 1,4-dioxin. Under advanced oxidation, there are actually 2 different treatment processes that can be used to remove the dioxin. One is by the use of ultraviolet light and hydrogen peroxide, and the second is through the use of ozone and hydrogen peroxide. So those are the 3 options that we evaluated under alternative number 1 for the upgrade of the North Church Street plant. Also included in the upgrade, or also included in alternative 1, is the upgrade of the Hartford Road plant using similar treatment processes to what were installed and at the plant right now. The only contaminants at the Hartford Road plant are iron and manganese, and the proposed treatment processes would include clarification, pressure filtration, similar to what was originally designed for that plant many years ago. So that is a summary of alternative 1. The second alternative evaluated was to increase the capacity of the Hartford Road plant to include the North Church Street plant and close the North Church Street plant. Capacity of the Hartford Road plant would be approximately 4.8 million gallons a day equal to North Church Street and the existing Hartford Road plant. To aid in the evaluation of this option, we hired a hydrogeologic firm, Shears and Graham, who evaluated the aquifer and desktop studies to determine what, if any, effects there would be by drilling 2 new wells out near the Hartford Road plant to take to supplement the capacity of the Hartford Road plant existing wells. They evaluated the groundwater conditions, did some modeling, and found that there would be no detrimental effects based on their brief modeling. To confirm that, additional test wells would have to be done sometime in the future if the township decided to go with this alternative. The existing wells at the Hartford Road plant would be reused, and a plant similar to that proposed under alternative 1 would be constructed at Hartford Road, primarily for iron and manganese removal. The third alternative that was evaluated was closing both North Church Street and Hartford Road and buying all of your water requirements from New under all three alternatives, it was assumed that the Kings Highway plan was and had been upgraded, and you were benefiting from the capacity of that plan and determining your firm capacity requirements and also your water allocation demand. Quick summary.
Okay, so I think that the question I have is, with Hartford Road, there's a lot that we don't know about that treatment facility. How long would it take to get all those studies up and going to the point where we would have a good?
The unknown is the drilling of the new wells, which would have to be installed a couple thousand feet away from the existing plant, because they would have to be drilled in the lower Potomac, Raritan, Magothy aquifer, similar to the wells at North Church Street. The wells at Hartford Road are drilled in the middle Potomac, Raritan, Magothy aquifer, but those are in the depleted zone of the PRM, not in the threatened zone. So it's a technicality with DEP, but the replacement wells for the North Church Street plant would have to be some distance away, approximately 2,000 feet away from.
A quarter mile,
Yeah.
somewhere in there. So that would mean either using township property or acquiring, how much property would that quarter acre or so, and then piping over to that facility?
The first step would be to drill a test well where you're actually pumping water out of the aquifer to determine if you can get the capacity that you want, 2,000 gallons a minute roughly, and also sample the groundwater to determine if there are any contaminants, unusual contaminants or anything you don't expect. And then it would have to go to DEP for approval.
Would they have to approve the test drilling and the whole concept first, or?
Well, I think it would be prudent to go to DEP and discuss it first before getting, down the road and make sure that there are no landmines, fatal flaws in the process and the idea of going forward.
Okay.
They don't actually have to approve the test well. You can, the well driller, and you will drill the test well.
You'd have to find the site first,
Right, have to find the site, and would be under a hydrogeologist similar to what we did on this plan.
That to me sounds like it's a lengthy process. How in the long run, it might be the most advantageous.
Correct.
I guess at that point, I would have to say, it would be longer than our ACO is in place. Could we extend our ability to stay in church?
I think if you talk to DEP and they agree with the concept, you might be able to do that.
So I know, do we have to choose one or the other, present a hybrid of ideas to DEP and say, hey, look, we would like to take a look at this. We would like to see if this is a viable solution moving forward.
Oh, no. I can give the answer.
Right.
It's
Certainly
worth
worth
proposing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we could potentially proceed with our plan, our stated course where we are with the church. Present this as a concept, evaluate this, and then in the future perhaps have the ability to pull through it.
If need be, sure. Yeah, if we found that there was continuing problems at North Church.
Yeah, Russ, do you know why Hartford Road was closed in the first place all those years ago?
No, I don't.
Okay, so when was the last time those wells were tested to find out if there's any contaminants in them?
They were tested in 2015.
And that's when they found the iron and the manganese, I think you said, that's all that's out there?
Yes.
Okay, so,
And we just recently had the water sample again, and we're waiting for the test results to come back.
so what would it take to find out why Hartford Road was closed in the first place?
Well, I guess, why, I mean, that's 20 years ago.
No, I guess it's relevant because two of the three alternatives bank all of our money on Hartford Road. The third alternative is basically where we are now. Why would anyone have even evaluated the third alternative, which is where we are now? That's clearly not acceptable. I mean, who came up with these alternatives? There had to have been others. All of them bank on Hartford Road, which we don't know why it closed in the first place. Who came up with these alternatives? Two of the three, and the third one, it should not have even, was, in my opinion, a waste of even evaluating. But Kings Highway, New Jersey American Water, which is what we're doing now, other than the fact that Kings Highway is not 100%. But it would not meet peak demand, so we're back to that old situation again.
Correct, you would have to buy water from New Jersey American to satisfy that.
Right, so who came up with these three alternatives?
Our office did.
Did you consider others, or these were the,
You have one in mind?
no, I'm just, no, okay.
Those were the viable alternatives that we considered.
Ross, I have a couple of questions. Well, and the first one is just from your understanding, I've only had some sort of informal conversations with, people who work in our water department, and it seemed like the issue with with Hartford Road was more, structural deficiencies in the original construction of the plant, nothing to do with the actual well or the water itself. Is that your understanding?
Well, there are structural deficiencies in the clarifiers and in the treatment plant building. My understanding was that the plant was labor intensive to run because there was a lot of iron and manganese and it had to be backwashed daily. So it took a lot of manpower, it took a lot of chemicals to operate the plant, and they didn't find it cost effective to run the plant.
Are there
But
better
I was
options
not-
available now, 20 years
Pardon?
on? Are there better options available for running the plant and mitigating those issues now, 20 years on?
I think if it's designed correctly, then it should be cost effective to run, easy to run, and be very automated. I don't know how the plant was designed back in 1963.
I have a couple of other questions. As far as finding a suitable location for drilling additional wells, would we have to purchase the land? I assume we would have to purchase the land before we
Yes.
even drilled the test well.
That's
Right. So we might buy land and it may not be suitable, and we'd have to buy something else.
correct.
All right, that's a bit of a concern for me. And another question I have, this is the last one, regarding alternative two. So I know the new wells would be drilled to a different depth, but to me, the appeal option or alternative one is that we would have wells at Church Street and we would have wells at Hartford Road. We already know that those are far enough apart that the contaminants affecting Church Street are not on Hartford Road. And I personally like the idea of having that backup, where if we did have a situation like we're in now, we have other facilities on the other side of town. Would having the wells at different depths also mitigate that, or would anything in the water at the mid or the deep level be there regardless?
Well, the Church Street wells are at a different depth than Hartford Road,
Right.
and if
I guess what I'm asking is the reason why we're not seeing the same contaminants at Hartford Road because the wells are at different depths, or because they're in different parts of town?
I think it's different parts of town.
Casey, you have any questions?
I mean, I think these are all things that we need to look into, to be responsible here. We can run forward with an interim solution right now, which I think is needed. But all the different problems that come up, we want to make sure that we're doing the best. And so if we need to be looking, I know Hartford Road's been talked about for a while now, what we can do. So to really go in that direction, really looking at it, to see if it's something that's viable, I think it's something we should do.
And I think we should proceed with that with DEP. If we have to fine tune, as time goes on, fine tune this plan. And I think that this is something I'd like to go ahead and have submitted to DEP and see where it goes. So I'd like to, yeah,